Hello, warm greetings to all who have joined today's podcast with our dear Elvis D'Silva. He is a very magnanimous and a magnetic person who is the founder of IAAM. And what does that IAAM mean? It means it's all about me, right? So let's not waste any time and get into a very interesting discussion with Elvis. Are we ready, Elvis?
Sure. Why not? Always ready.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming over for this particular podcast, which has questions
Mhm,
and insights into what exactly is training, coaching,
mhm,
and mentoring.
mhm,
So, here's my first question to you, Elvis.
mhm,
How have the roles of training, coaching, and mentoring
mhm.
evolved in the modern workplace?
Okay. So basically, there has been a change when it comes to what is talked about today is LXD, that is learning experience design. So training is no more like only giving knowledge. It is more about getting results out of the training.
Mhm,
So it is no more about downloading knowledge because knowledge today, the content is available freely and much more than a trainer, mentor, or a coach can give. And it's available easily also, just at a click of a mouse, click of a button. Yeah. So that is how training, mentoring, coaching has changed. It is not no more about lecturing, about giving a lot of gyan, but it is more about seeing results, more about application of the knowledge and not just knowledge itself.
mhm,
So that is how the training industry has evolved, and this is done mostly through experiential learning. So, if you see today, the training is mostly happening through giving that experience to the trainees. Because what we all know is that people learn best when they themselves realize something. So, realization is that first point, that first step of transformation. And this transformation happens when we, as trainers, mentors, and coaches, give that experience to the trainees, which happens through various techniques, various tools that we use to give this experience to the trainees.
mhm. That's very interesting. And very rightly said, experiential learning does make a lot of difference when it comes to training.
Right.
So, do you think this is the trend that has come up right now, which is shaping the future of these practices?
Yes, sure. It is
Mhm,
because as I said, like change will happen only when there is a realization.
mhm,
Change will happen only when I learn something, not when someone teaches me.
mhm,
So therefore, I would use the term of facilitation. We as trainers, mentors, coaches, we facilitate
mhm.
because facilitation is an approach where we use it with adult learners.
Sure.
So training can be used very much related to teachers, like school teachers who are training the kids to do something because they are still not matured. So we need to be like mentors also. We have to tell them what to do.
Mhm,
But as trainers, facilitators who go into the corporates who are dealing with adults, we no more tell them what to do. We the best what we can do is make them realize and ask them like, no, now what do you think needs to be done? So
right.
we just go as facilitators, we facilitate the learning, but the learning happens by themselves.
Mhm,
We just go as a, what you say, we just go to give that push.
right. Absolutely agree with you.
Mhm,
And I think today, even in schools, also the pattern of teaching, the way that teaching is done has also changed.
mhm.
And we hear more of this facilitating and the teacher being more of a facilitator. So I can absolutely relate to what you're saying right now, as how a trainer needs to be more of a facilitator and get into and go deeper into experiential learning. That's a
Right,
great
right.
point. Great point. So, Elvis, what do you think? Which of these three, that is the
Mhm,
training, coaching, or mentoring, it
mhm.
has the most significant impact on a long-term personal and professional development?
So I would say not any one technique works the best. We always have to mix and match. So even
Mhm,
if I go as a trainer, I facilitate. At times I may go into the training mode. At times I may go in a coaching mode. So
mhm,
everything is targeted at change. It is all targeted at change in the trainees. in your participants. These are just different styles that we do. Training is mostly, if you literally see, it's a one-to-many approach. There is one trainer and there are many trainees sitting in front. Okay, it's a one-to-many approach. Coaching is mostly, it has a different style of energy. Coaching is mostly one-to-one. It's a mostly one-to-one approach. And mentoring again is coaching is facilitating, more of facilitation. When you draw things out of your coachee, you draw things, they already know, they're adults, they know the solution. You help them bring the solution out of them. And mentoring is where you specifically tell them, okay, you need to do these three things, A, B, and C. It's like you go to a doctor and a doctor gives you a dose. Okay, now you take these three medicines for these many days. So that is like a mentoring approach. A coach is not a mentor. A coach is only a person who helps you draw the things out of you. He brings the best out of you. So
Right.
all
Right.
three are important. All three are important. I cannot say that only just one this thing works. It's a mix and match depending on at what level are my participants,
Okay.
and it would also differ from person to person.
So, can we say that the benefits of one approach is it cannot be sustained without the support of the others? Can we say something of that sort?
Yes, each of these styles would complement each other as per my understanding goes. So, for example, if I go for a training and I conduct a training on one particular topic, uh, in that session, I will be like a trainer. I will be training about something. I will also be like a facilitator, wherein through my debriefs and all, I conduct something, some experiential activity, and I ask my trainees, okay, now what did you learn? So they share. So I'm facilitating the learning. As a trainer, I have told them a concept, I have conducted an activity. Now I go into a facilitation mode.
Mm,
I I ask them, I also go in a coaching mode. That
mm,
what have you learned? I try to draw the learning out of them.
mm.
And then post session, maybe there are some participants who want to talk to me, who want to meet me. And so I tailor the solution as per their individual need. There I go into a coaching and a mentoring mode. So each style complements each other. Each style leverages each other.
Mm.
And I recommend every trainer to use all the approaches. You mix and match it to, maximize the benefits to reach the target, that is change in the trainees.
Very true. Very, very true. And very rightly said, uh, that each supports the other,
Right.
and it leverages the benefits of the other. Very, very well said there. So, how do you think the
Mhm.
training, coaching, and mentoring,
Mhm.
they address the psychological and the emotional needs of the learners?
Okay. Could you elaborate a little?
So, when you're talking about the experiential learning, right,
Mhm.
you are facilitating the experiential learning, and when
Mhm.
uh, the learner goes through this
Mhm.
experiential learning, I'm
Mhm.
sure he or she is also going through a lot of emotions also when the experiential
Mhm.
learning is happening, and you're
Right.
facilitating that, right?
Correct.
So
Correct.
when as a trainer you're facilitating it, do
Mhm.
you think that as a coach and as a mentor also, you're also addressing their needs, which are more emotional needs or more psychological needs of the learner? Or do you think
Mhm.
it's just a very, very basic fact of just delivering whatever they require to know that much only?
Mhm.
Because when
So
we are
yes.
talking about the psychological and the
Mhm.
emotional needs,
Mhm.
we do tend to go a bit beyond whatever we are teaching, and
Mhm.
whatever maybe we are facilitating, to
Right.
understand that person much better.
Right.
So, how do you feel about that?
So yes, so Kala, see, change will happen. Whatever learnings that I'm trying to give will happen only when they're convinced, only when
Mhm,
they're motivated to change, no
mhm,
matter how much. So I believe you cannot change anyone. You can only facilitate the change.
mhm,
The change that I want in me, only I can do it. The other person, any external factor can only maybe facilitate at the most. So
mhm,
as a trainer, I do not have a magical stick. Okay, now one day I will go, I will do a 3 hour session. I will, know, what do you say, keep that stick on everyone's head, and then suddenly they will change after 3 hours. That does not happen. So as a trainer, it is very important to understand the psychological needs of my trainees, their emotional needs, and I need to connect that with the learning. So the learning will happen when there is some emotion connected to it, when there is
Right.
some aspiration connected to it. And
Mm,
therefore, as a trainer, I need to do a lot of background work, if possible, yeah, if feasible, to understand what motivates them,
mm, mm.
what motivates them.
Sure. Mm,
So if I connect that with the learning, that this learning will help you achieve what you are motivated for, by which you are motivated for,
mm.
and that can help you to take you to your aspirations, whatever you aspire.
Right.
So, as trainers, we should not neglect this. We should not neglect the pathos element. Pathos is about the emotions. Every trainee sitting in front of me is coming with a lot of emotional baggage. Yeah, every trainee sitting in the room has a lot of emotional baggage. And I cannot go as a Hitler in the room. Yeah,
Mm,
that be very blunt and no, you have to do this. Yes,
mm,
I have to motivate them. I have to find out what is their motivating factors, what motivates them. I have to be an agent to amplify that motivation, what they already have.
mm,
So the pathos element plays a very important role. What is that motivating factor for my trainees? What
mm,
can motivate them to learn? What motivates them to change? And then I need to use that as a base to bring the change. So pathos plays a very important role. Okay. Even the ethos, the credibility. How
mm,
credible am I to bring that change? And the last is first I spoke about pathos, uh, ethos, and logos. Logos is logic. So I also have to give them logical reasons why they should do this.
mm,
Okay, why being in this current state is not good for them? Why being in that desired state can change their life?
mm,
So I have to even logically, what you say, handle them. Logically, I need to facilitate them because every human being, every person sitting in the room is influenced by ethos, pathos, and logos,
right.
which a trainer needs to understand, be aware of. Else, I will just go as another Google there, okay,
Mm,
another Chat GPT, which
mm.
is an outdated version of Google and Chat GPT. Because if I go to the current version with the updated version, it will give more information than I can give.
Yeah, true, true. Hmm. Very true. But then, Elvis, do you think that you've
Mm-hmm,
taken pathos, ethos, and logos, and
mm-hmm,
you introduce it to the trainers, and
mm-hmm,
you see to it that as a trainer, it is required that you also become a coach and a mentor in
mm-hmm,
the due course of time. So,
mm-hmm,
have you ever felt that when the coaching session is over and it is
mm-hmm,
done,
mm-hmm,
you had performed your duty as a trainer maybe, but
mm-hmm,
the trainee is still requiring your help as a coach and as a mentor. So
mm-hmm.
how far do you go with that then? Do you feel that you still need to be lending your support to the trainee at that time, or what, how do you manage the whole situation then? What do you do then?
Yes, it is needed. It is needed. A follow-up is very important. Yeah. Even when as a patient, if I go to a doctor, the doctor will call me after a few weeks to for a checkup, and then he will revisit the dose. He may reduce it or he may increase it after reviewing what is my condition. Same way, same. It's a patient-doctor relationship, even with the trainee and the trainer. Yes, so follow-up plays a very important role, and a trainer can do the follow-up in many ways. Yes, he can either share his contact, he can either go for a follow-up visit, he can either create a community or a tribe on, like today you can use WhatsApp, you can use a Facebook. So to be in constant touch with his trainees. Yes, and that is not just only good for the trainee, it's also good for the trainer. Because when tomorrow a trainer has a testimony that his trainee has changed, his trainee has got a result, yeah,
Mm,
that can have professional benefits for the career of the trainer. That his training has brought change in his subjects, in his trainees.
mhm,
So there are different ways of doing follow-up.
mm.
Yeah, and
Yes.
you can use technology for that.
Mm, mhm. Yes, that's very interesting where you said that when you can use technology, and
Mhm,
maybe WhatsApp is one of the ways you do it, and you help building a a complete tribe of those trainees so that you are always there for them.
You may
And
use a Calendly. You may use a Calendly link where,
mm,
I understand that you are busy, they are busy.
mm,
Give a particular slot, okay? Open some available slots in your Calendly, maybe an hour or half an hour in a day,
mhm,
a 15-minute slot where
mhm,
your trainee can book a call with you and he can speak to you that, ma'am, sir, that you came for a training, you conducted it was wonderful, but when I tried implementing it, these are the challenges that I faced.
mm,
So, what do you think? What can I do? So you see, even in mobile networks and all in the networking field, there are signals that are transmitted from the tower,
mhm,
right? But at a particular distance, after a particular distance, due to a lot of noise and other friction, the signal goes down and it needs amplifiers. Yeah, it needs amplifiers to again bring the signal high. So similarly, we need to amplify the signals of our trainees when they try to implement because they will face n number of challenges. Yeah, and they need hand holding. They would need hand holding. And therefore, here comes a picture of follow-ups.
mm, mm. But that's a huge support system that you're talking about, because it's not just that you've just gone for one training session, you've delivered
Mhm,
your whole training module and everything, you're done with it, and you've come back and
mhm,
you're done with it. Like
mhm.
you're not in connect with the trainees anymore. So
Right.
the whole emotional support that you're giving to the trainee,
Mhm,
even after leaving the hall, even after completing your module,
right.
that gives such a lot of confidence to the trainee that yes, I have some person who I'm now I can always fall back onto, and I can always
Right.
ask that person as to how I can go about with it. That really, I think, makes a
So see,
lot of
Kala,
difference.
practically speaking, this would need a lot of hard work. It would need a lot of
Yes.
investment of my energy, of my time. But
Very.
again, here it is the element of ownership.
Mm,
Okay, do I take ownership as a trainer to bring that change? Or
mm,
else I may just, look at the commercials. Oh, the commercials are not viable. So I would say, yeah, that too is a
yes.
fact. You need to take off your commercials as well. So
Yeah.
you put this all in your budget. You put all
Mm,
this in your proposal.
mm,
You put
mm.
all these things in your proposal, and then accordingly you quote. Or you can even, if you for follow-ups, if you want, you're going to spend your time, energy, and all, you put it in the proposal and you charge accordingly. Yeah.
Right. Yes, makes a lot of sense. Very true. Uh, so all this is like,
Mhm,
we've done this, like, okay, we've
mhm,
understood what is training and how it is not
mhm,
just training on its own, but coaching was also there, and
mhm,
mentoring is also there with it.
mhm,
But we as trainees, there is a diversity, like the type
mhm,
of trainees that come to you. There are
mhm,
so many different types.
mhm,
Right? So do you feel that there is the cultural differences that the trainees come with? I know
mhm.
it influences the way how effectively you can train them, coach them, or mentor them. Does it, are these differences, do they influence the effectiveness?
Yes, yes, it could differ because it does differ because and there is where the picture comes of coaching when you sit one to one or with your trainees maybe before the session,
Mm,
after the session. So
mm,
here is where coaching comes into picture where you are more into the listening mode.
mm,
You're more like a counselor. You're more like a consultant. Yeah,
mm,
and post training maybe you go into the mentoring mode when you tell them these are the actions now you need to take.
mm,
So coaching, you're like a coach before the session, you're a trainer in the session, and you're a mentor post the session. Yeah.
mm,
So yes, what you said could bring a lot of difference in the way the learning is taken. So I always speak about, there are three types of mud. There is three types of what do you say, the base of a plant.
mm,
Some may be cement. Okay, some may be cement where you put water, but it won't soak. Then there is a hard mud. The 50% of the water may soak. And then there is a very loose soil, which takes in all what you give. So
mm,
these cultural beliefs, these what do you say, the upbringing and the belief system can affect the learning, can what you say, lower the signal of the learning, and therefore it is very important for any trainee to come like an empty pot,
mm,
to come like a tabula rasa where there is nothing in the brain, it is all ready to learn. So,
mm,
and therefore, it becomes difficult when people come with a lot of experience, and then they carry that experience on their shoulders. I am this and I am that. So at times it becomes very difficult for them to soak in. So the expectation setting as a trainer needs to be done in the very beginning. Yeah, prepare them for the learning, and then then start the sessions. Have the expectation, the context setting before the training begins.
Mhm. So are you also indicating to the fact that, uh, especially since you've been in the training field for so many years,
Mm-hmm,
you would also see the people who you are training, they
mm-hmm,
might be young,
mm-hmm,
where maybe it is easier for you to go through the training process. And
mm-hmm,
as you said, people who are more into this training field and they already have a lot of experience with them, and they're carrying that with them, with the
mm-hmm,
fact that I know a lot of things and what new things that you are going to talk
mm-hmm,
about.
mm-hmm.
So, would you say that there is a need for some sort of unlearning here so that you can
Definitely.
relearn? Is that
Definitely,
necessary?
definitely. Here I would give the example of an ice. Okay, the
Mm,
method is called as what do you say, freeze, unfreeze, and refreeze.
okay.
Okay, so if I want to change, if I want to grow, and this I do in my leadership programs, in my leadership trainings for senior managers, because
Mm,
at times with experience and with all that, laurels and awards and all that I have achieved, the successes in my career, I get into the freeze mode where I'm rigid. I'm not able to change. So for this, I need to unfreeze. I
mm,
need to, break my shape. I need to lose my that identity that I am this and I am that. And
mm,
only when I unfreeze, I'm able to refreeze. I'm able to refreeze in a new mold. Okay.
right.
And
Mm,
that is what is required to be relevant in the market, irrespective of whatever profession. Yeah, I need to keep myself updated. I need to keep learning something. For that, I need to understand that I'm not the best. I'm still, what you say, I'm work in progress. I'm still
mm,
work in progress. The
mm.
moment I think that I'm successful, the journey of my downfall begins.
Very true.
The process
Very,
of my
very true.
downfall begins. And
Very
therefore,
true.
unlearning is very important. It's more
Very,
important than learning.
very true. Very true. And I completely agree with you because,
Mhm,
especially the way that the world is shaping up today in the
mhm,
last few years,
mhm,
uh, it's really going very fast. And
mhm.
it's like every day when you think about what you know, you always fall short of something that you do not know, and
True.
you need to learn more there. So yes, I think unlearning is a very, very important part that plays there, where I'm always ready to and open to learning, and that can only be done when I also know how to unlearn whatever I have learned, maybe at one point of time, which
Mhm.
may not be very relevant today because
True.
the world is changing so fast.
True. And the more I learn, the more I realize that how much I don't know. And when
Exactly.
I only learn a little, I think, no, I'm like a fool. I think like I know everything.
Yeah,
When I say that
true.
I know everything, I'm the greatest fool on this planet.
Right. Very true. Very, very true. That was interesting. Okay, so Elvis, when we are talking about training, coaching, and mentoring,
Mm-hmm.
do you think that there are some ethical considerations that should be kept in mind
Mm-hmm.
when we are engaging in training, coaching, or mentoring?
The most ethical thing is confidentiality.
Mm,
So a person confides in you as a trainer or as a coach, as a mentor,
mm,
trusting in me, trusting in you, and therefore he shares the most vulnerable areas of his life. Yeah, most vulnerable areas which the society does not know,
mm,
because now he's coming to you as considering you as a doctor.
mm,
So when a patient goes to a doctor, he exposes himself irrespective of what gender he is, what gender the doctor is. Yeah, he will expose himself completely to be healed.
mm,
Yeah. So the ethics that needs to be followed here is not to break the trust, not to
mm.
break the confidentiality. of the trainee, of the coachee. Yes, so this is the ethics that needs to be followed.
Mm. Very true. Very, very true. And I think once that trust building comes in,
Mm-hmm.
then I think the journey becomes easier for both. I think you as a trainer and for the person who is a trainee, because then it's like, again, it's like you're going into a new journey where there is a lot of learning that is happening, and there is a lot of give and take,
Mm-hmm.
and the shape of the trainee is the learning of the
Mm-hmm.
trainee is being shaped or molded by the facilitation that you give and by the experiential learning that the trainee does. And
Mm-hmm.
naturally, there is a lot of things happening, and he becomes a much better person. That's what I feel.
The second thing is respect. The
Mm,
trainer needs to respect
right.
the vulnerability that the coachee, the trainee is bringing in,
Mhm.
because he trusts you. So I
Mm,
need to respect that. And third thing, I need to take the ownership then. Because someone is showing that trust, that confidence in me, I
mm,
need to stand true to my words. I need to bring down, the heaven on the earth to bring that change for this trainee. Do
mm.
all that is possible in my strength to the best of my ability to help him or help her.
True. Very true. So Elvis, is it
Mhm,
like do you think the boundaries that are there, whether it
mhm,
is you as a trainer or as a coach or as a
mhm,
mentor,
mhm,
how do you think these boundaries between these roles that are there
mhm.
either help or hinder the developmental process?
So again, training, coaching, mentoring should not be used as a crutch by the trainee.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my training, my coaching, my mentoring should not, make the trainee, the coach, the mentee,
Mm-hmm.
dependent on me completely. Like, just using it as an escape mechanism. Oh, now I'm in a problem, chalo, let's run. And then I feel very nice. And then I
Yeah.
go back. And then that becomes like a crutch. So I am, in a way, making them handicaps.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So coaching, training, mentoring is all targeted to bring a change to making them independent.
Mm-hmm.
Because after a certain time, I may just, leave the hands. I may say, now enough. Now you have learned to walk. Now walk by yourself. I cannot hold your hands for the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm.
You now need to take the ownership. You now need to take the charge.
True.
Yes, and therefore making the trainee, the coach independent. That should be, the target of the trainer, the target of the trainee,
Mm-hmm.
of the coach, of the mentor.
Very true. Again, I just wanted to go back to the
Mm-hmm,
previous another question that we had dealt with,
mm-hmm,
where you are also as a trainer, you're also as a coach, and you're also as
mm-hmm,
a mentor,
mm-hmm,
and where the building of trust and
mm-hmm,
how you build that, so that the respect that you build between each other.
mm-hmm,
So as a trainer, what
mm-hmm,
when I was just listening to you, this had crossed my mind.
mm-hmm,
Like, do you feel at times that you are like too overburdened by a lot of things because you are taking in so
mm-hmm,
much of
mm-hmm,
the emotions and what
mm-hmm.
they are feeling
Right.
from others,
True.
right? And
True.
naturally, since you are talking about building trust,
Mm-hmm,
it's like you are not going to share that with someone else. It has to be with you.
true.
So when you are taking so many emotions into you,
Mm-hmm.
how do you take care of yourself then as a trainer or a coach or a mentor?
Good question. Very practical. Yeah, at times happens that you're speaking, 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 motivating others. You're trying to push this, drive that, telling them to do this. So at times there is a moment where you feel that burnout.
Mm,
You feel that you're burning out,
mm,
which is not good for you, nor good for your trainees. You need to also balance and take care of yourself.
mm,
You need to give yourself that breather. Now, the breather can be different for different people. For me, it is just, just sipping a cup of coffee or just watching some, travel HP on on the TV, or just taking a bike ride. So you need to give yourself that breather.
mm,
You need to contract for a little while so that you can expand more. Yes. So make sure that you have a me time also. Give yourself a good me time every day. Yeah,
Yes.
spend the time with yourself. Like I practically spend, people may not believe, even after being busy the whole day, I give myself 3 hours every morning.
It's really good.
I give my 3 hours myself 3 hours in introspection, spending time in prayer, or just making my own plans. So that is what I do, and that gives you that energy to jump more higher.
Mm,
When you sit down, it is like, it's like what you say, that spring. When it compresses, it can, push more up. So
right.
make sure that, you manage your energies also. It is not just about time management, it is also about energy management.
Mm, mm,
Manage your energies, conserve it.
mm,
Now,
mm.
saying that, I don't mean to become complacent or, shrug off your responsibilities, but be prudent, be wise. Yeah, conserve your energy so that you can serve more. So, as trainers, make sure that you take care of your spiritual life. Make sure
Mm,
that you take care of your physical health. Yeah, go hit the gym, go walking, go cycling, because this is the body that is helping you exist on this earth, because of which you and me, we are serving. So I need to respect my body. I need to make time for it.
true. True, very true. And I completely agree with you on the me time part
Mm-hmm.
because that is extremely important. And somewhere or the other, I think in this, in this busy life that we are
Mm-hmm.
leading,
Mm-hmm.
we pay more attention to the fact that, the work should be get done on time and I should be
Mm-hmm.
punctual, I should be sincere, or maybe I should hit this record, or maybe I should hit this number
Mm-hmm.
in my economics and all those things. But we
Mm-hmm.
forget to take care of ourselves as to what's happening to ourselves, and especially if it is like you're also a family person, then the
Mm-hmm.
responsibilities are even more,
True.
uh, and it varies for a female and a male somehow, somewhere or the other. Those
True.
changes
True.
come.
Very true.
And especially the woman, I think she forgets to give that me time to herself, which is
Right.
so, so very important.
Right.
So, very truly said, it is really important to give that me time.
You need to be selfish to be selfless.
Yeah, you said
Yeah.
it. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Right. So, I'm now like coming towards the end of the podcast, and just what
Mm-hmm.
although you have touched a little bit on technology and all, but
Mm-hmm.
since this is more of the the technology world and AI driven world and all that,
Mm-hmm.
um, do you think that in future anything that is virtual or which is AI driven
Mm-hmm.
solutions also? Because today you even ask a college student about any question, they're smart enough to put it on ChatGPT and get the answers,
True.
get the solutions, right? So do you think that this is going to replace the human element in these processes with
Mm-hmm.
respect to training, uh, coaching and mentoring?
I would not say replace, but yes, I would say it would complement.
Mhm.
I would say it would complement the learning industry, because the human element, the human touch will always be required.
Mhm.
Yeah, people always need something that is tangible, and especially when it comes to learning, when it comes to, that human touch, that personal touch is always required. So technology, AI, and all, no matter how much it advances, but it will only complement. It will not compete with us. It will not compete with actual physical trainings. Yeah, it will supplement. It will complement, and it will supplement.
Right, right. Well said. Because you, as a trainer, when you are meeting your
Mm-hmm.
trainee,
Mm-hmm.
you know the person best. The
Right.
AI would not know the
AI
person.
would not know.
Right, right. So you would know the person best, and you are the best person to give solutions or whatever it is. And
Right.
definitely maybe being assisted by the AI if whenever it is required, if
Yes.
it is required at all.
It's an aid. It's like a tool that can be used.
Yes, yes. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Elvis. It was a lovely session, and you brought in the clarity as to what exactly is training and what is coaching and what is mentoring. and where
Mhm.
it is applicable in a training session, and how
Mhm.
it is integrated with each other without without a very conscious knowledge that it
Mhm.
is actually being integrated. So I really appreciate the fact that you brought in those differences so clearly,
Mhm.
saying that a trainer should be just not just a trainer, but he also needs to be a coach and also needs to be a mentor, and do a follow up with the trainee whenever it is required to handhold the trainee, so that the trainee is able to be confident to face and do whatever he or she wants to do.
True.
So thank you so much for this wonderful session,
Thank you,
and
Kala.
hope to
It
meet you.
was it was wonderful. We discussed a lot of things, and I hope the viewers find this useful.
Yes. Yes, yes, definitely. And I'm sure viewers will find it very useful when they go through this podcast. And a special tip, or not a tip, but a special comment from my
Mhm.
side
Mhm.
is, please do have your me time, because that really boosts you and gives you that energy to, rise and shine every day.
Right.
So thank you. Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Elvis.
Kala. It was wonderful having this podcast.
Thank you. Bye bye. Take care.
Bye.